rabbis of yesteryear were on the 3rd of Tevet, Gimel Tevet. It marks the Hilula of a great Tunisian rabbi. His name was Rav Yaakov HaKohen Gadisha, Zecher Tzadik Livracha, one of the great rabbis of Tunisia during the late 1800s and early 1900s respectively. Now, he was born in English year 1852 and he passed away on Gimel Tevet in English year 1910. He was approximately 58 years of age at the time he passed away. He would become a great rabbi, a Posek Halacha, a rabbi that will render various different Jewish Torah laws. He would become the author of many great Torah books, and he would be appointed the head of the Jewish court in Xaara, Kvíra, a place in of itself, let's just say the gigantic square in of itself in the island of Jrba in Tunisia. Let's explore some of the highlights of the great rabbi's life. Now, he was born and came from a great rabbinic heritage. His father's name was Rav Avram HaKohen Gadisha, and he was born in an area called Xaara and Sagira, if I'm not mistaken. This was known as a small square in the island of Jrba, and he would it's actually then afterwards the family in of itself will move to the Xaara Kvíra, the large square in the island of Tunisia, respectively. So these were different localities, let's just say, in Tunisia, in Jrba, respectively. He would learn under auspices of many great rabbanim, including Rabbi David HaKohen Gisha. He happened to be the Rosh Yeshiva in Jrba, along with the great Dayan, Rabbi Menachem Mezuz. Remember, the Mezuz family were great rabbis in Tunisia. After that, I believe he would actually go to the yeshiva of Rabbi Sassi Matok Kohen Yonatan, another great rabbi we've spoken about on various occasions before. He himself happened to be one of the great rabbis of Jrba and the head of the Jewish court in Xaara Kvíra, the great square in of itself, and Rosh Yeshiva, as we said before. He would also learn under auspices of Rabbi Moshe Zaken Mazuz, another great rabbi who we spoke about before. He himself passed away in the year 1915, another head of Jewish court and in Jrba itself, respectively, which we must point out, an author of many great Torah books. And he was considered himself to be an Eloi among the young students, a really, really great Torah scholar, and the great Kerav Gadisha. The potential in his Torah greatness was apparent at a young age. He would get married to the daughter, I believe, of Rabbi Rachamim Haddad. He himself happened to be the head of the Jewish court in Jrba, Rabbi Haddad did. And afterwards, he would continue learning with many great rabbis, including Rabbi Shalom HaKohen, who was a great rabbi over there. I think he himself happened to be a rabbi in Zerzis, if I'm not mistaken, in Tunisia. And his father was famous Rabbi Kalfon Moshe HaKohen, who we spoke about before on various occasions before. He would go on during that time period, those years, to write various different books, especially the Me'il Yaakov, which was based on the tractate of Me'ilah in of itself, and various different other books also. I think after several years, where he was learning for many, many years at that point in time, he would then start studying goldsmith industry and establish a jewelry store. While obviously he was learning and teaching very much at the same time. It was famously, I believe, several Jewish goldsmiths at that point in time were in prison for one reason or another. Could have been anti-Semitic related by the authorities of Jrba, and Rabbi Yaakov was chosen by various different goldsmiths to travel to Tunis, the capital, to help get them released over there. So he was very much involved in people's lives and helping people in all different sorts of situations. He would give various different Torah classes, especially it was reported over, I think, for many years. On Shabbat, he would give a specific shiur in of itself, on Masechet Shabbat for the students, and I think various other great rabbis at that point in time. I think he would actually eventually be appointed as part of the let's just say, I think one of the students that was actually learning under him was Rabbi Kalfon Moshe HaKohen, another great rabbi of his day in of itself, rabbi we've spoken about on various occasions before. He happens to be his student, and I believe at a later stage in time, eventually he would start printing his books. And the book, the Ma'ayin Yavo, I think on the Torah itself, was printed in the year Hey Tafresh Nun Bet, and really, really great rabbis in of itself. Now, it's reported over that in the year 1904, it happened to be, that this was widely documented, that I think Dr. Uziel, who happened to be the president of the Alliance, let's say, Kol Yisrael Chaverim, Alliance network of schools in of itself in Tunisia. He arrived actually in G'erba. He tried to establish a school there, but I think in many countries there was people that were not necessarily so for this school system in of itself. And notably enough, over here, we have to point out Rabbi Yaakov Gadisha was not for the Alliance school system, along with various other rabbis inside the vicinity in of itself. And they tried to thwart this school system, let's just say, from holding a realm inside the vicinity in of itself. So I think he would, along with various different other rabbis, Rabbi Sassi and the famous rabbi over there, who happened to be the head of the Jewish court at that point in time, they tried to, I think they stopped it, and the actual Alliance school network system in G'erba didn't actually take place at that point in time because of the, let's just say, there was signed by many other letters, this thing, various different dynamic and presence of the community. Rabbi Rachmi Mazuz and various other great people, they were not for it at all. I believe, come what the year 1905, Rabbi Sassi Matok Cohen Yonatan, who just mentioned about before, he passed away, and then Rav Yaakov Gadisha would actually be appointed the rabbi in his place, and he would become, like, say, the rabbi of the community at that point in time. We know that Rabbi Sassi Matok Cohen Yonatan was a great rabbi, so he would become not just a chazan, he would become the Baal Korah in the synagogue, especially in Shabbatot and Moadim, and the rabbi in of itself. He was an expert also in regards to reported over, he was well versed within regards to the Quran. So Muslims would actually come to him asking him for advice or to settle various different disputes among themselves. So he was really seen at the highest level among not just the Jewish community, but even the Muslim community. Now, he passed away, I believe, in the year 1910. He was 58 years of age. It was reported over he suffered from shortness of breath in his last few years. And he left, I believe, a daughter, and I think one of his son was born a few months after he passed away, if I'm not mistaken. Now let's explore some of the great Torah works that he wrote, including Ma'aner Yavo, which we mentioned about before, which was Chidushim on the Torah, teachings on the Torah in itself. That was printed in his lifetime. Then the Bechor Yaakov, which is various different drushim and dinim, Jewish laws in themselves, in Lashon HaKodesh, in the Hebrew language. And then there was the Gan Yaakov, which was Chidushim on the Tanakh, the Torah, Nevi'im, and Ketuvim. Then the Halichot Yaakov. Then there was another great book, the Me'il Yaakov, which is teachings on Masechet Me'ilah. Then the Kochav Yaakov, which is Chidushim on the Masechet Ta'anit, the tractate of Ta'anit. Vayichi Yaakov, which is teachings on the Shas, in of itself, the encompassment of the Talmud Bavli. On the Sidrei, let's just say, of Zera'im Amoed, and the Chaye Yaakov, which is teachings on the Shas, on the Sidrei Nashim V'Nezikin. Then the Yadei Yaakov, Chidushim on the Shas, on Sidrei Zera'im V'Taharot. Zuchut Yaakov, which is, let's just say, Klalei Shas, and the various different teachings on the Agadot of the Shas in of itself, the Agada. The Tov Yaakov, which is Pilpulim, let's just say, going inside Iyun and into deep analytic thought on the Shas. Or I think this was actually compiled in the Seder of the Aleph-Bet in of itself, the Hebrew alphabet order. Then there was a Leket Yaakov, which was, let's say, a manuscript form in of itself. I think it remained in manuscript form, if I'm not mistaken. Also, I think there was also publishings on the Teshuvot, various different Teshuvot answers within regards to various different topics in of itself. I think it's connected to the Sefer of the Mishpat Katov, which was of Rabbi Yisrael Zayton, who happened to be a head of a Jewish court in of itself of Tunisia. And I think there was other manuscript writings in of itself, and possibly other books that he wrote also. So it was a very, very much a very great rabbi. He passed away on Gimel Tevet, 3rd of Tevet. He was approximately 58 years of age at the time of passing. He was, I think, for more than 5 years, he would become let's just say, the head of the Jewish court of Harobah Hagadol. I think, actually, to be precise, it was between Yud Tet Cheshvan, Hey Taf Resh Samachay, and Gimel Tevet, Hey Taf Rosh Rish Ayin in of itself. I think afterwards Rabbi, so he would, his Rabbi was Rabbi Sasi Matok HaKohen Yonatan, another great Rabbi we've spoken about on various occasions before. Please don't forget to light candles in Rabbi Yaakov HaKohen Gadisha's memory here on the 3rd of Tevet. Friends, we're a community here. We're learning about the great rabbis of yesteryear, the great Oriental Rabbanim. We've covered probably about 70, 80 rabbis from Tunisia, respectively. Please, if any of you happen to be related to any of these great Chachamim, please send me an email. I would love to hear more. So wishing you all well. Take care and blessings from Israel.